It is my pleasure to introduce today Captain Ben Bridges. Along with his wife, Annie, they are the commanding officers and executive directors for the Salvation Army of Collier County. Just as an aside, I worked election day at the precinct that is at the Salvation Army headquarters, and it is amazing all the programs there. In the capacity, the Bridges also serve as the pastors of the Salvation Army Worship Center and lead the work of the mission throughout the county. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. Well, we really appreciate you having us here. My wife, Annie, is just over there to my left. And I have you know that along with my wife, there are 6 women in my house. So, I am at home in this place. And they are living proof that women are indeed smarter and more talented. The Salvation Army has been in the emergency disaster business since 1900. Galveston, Texas, after the coast was ravaged by a hurricane. And so over these last 122 years, one thing that has remained is the Salvation Army's commitment to be there for the most vulnerable populations before, during, and after major disasters. We deliver hope in the form of a cold cup of water, a hot meal, shelter, essential household items, financial assistance, and perhaps the most important method by offering a listening ear, a whisper of hope, and even a shoulder to cry on. You see, what drives us in this service to our neighbors is our fundamental belief that Jesus came into our world to offer hope to the hopeless, to shine a light into the darkness. It's our Christian faith that compels us out in the midst of disaster to offer a glimpse of the kingdom in those practical ways. And so here in Naples, over the last few weeks and months, we've been doing just that. Now, if you're like me, you were convinced that the storm was going to go well north of us. As my wife likes to remind me all the time, she knew better. Remember, women are smarter than men. She knew that it was coming to us. And so the Salvation Army was poised and ready. We had teams on standby. We had food ready to deploy if needed. And as you all know by now, we were needed. So the morning immediately mobilized our teams, preparing sandwiches, delivering snacks and water to those in our community who were without power, who had no means to prepare food or travel to find food. Up and down the Southwest Florida coast, our Salvation Army teams served for well over a month. Right here in Naples, all told, we served around 30,000 meals to our community. And while throughout Southwest Florida, altogether, through a combination of 190 employees and volunteers, along with 74 Salvation Army officers just like me from all over the United States, the Salvation Army served over 380,000 meals to victims, provided 3,000 additional nights of lodging, distributed 20,000 cleanup kits, an additional 40,000 food boxes, and in every one of those moments, through every interaction, the true ambition was and still is to offer a glimmer of hope to those deeply impacted. To make sure that the mother who's looking for food for her 3 small children and doesn't know where she's gonna find it, we wanna make sure she knows she's not alone, right? To knock on door after door, parks, or remind though the future might look bleak, you don't have to face tomorrow by yourself. That's why we do what we do. Our founder, William Booth, believed that God cares not just for the spiritual nature of a person, but for the whole person. And the true life offered through the kingdom of God is not just a peace that surpasses our understanding, but indeed a full belly and a place to rest our heads. So driving around today in Naples, you would hardly know that we experienced a hurricane a month ago, but looks can be deceiving. And so while many in our community have gone back to normal, there are still countless families who have yet to have a home. Homes that have been completely flooded, that stand now as just empty shells because everything they owned was flooded and had to be removed. Walls, mold-ridden walls that had to be taken out. There's still thousands of people trying to navigate the governmental systems through FEMA and insurance and landlords and vehicle repairs. And so now the Salvation Army is transitioning into long-term recovery. And that's our commitment, to be there long after the storm has gone. And so our case management team right now at this moment is walking with families through those processes of applying with FEMA, identifying ways that insurance companies and other governmental agencies and nonprofits can help them. And we're going to be here long after the storm. Through community partners like Collier Community Foundation, the Schultz Foundation, and many private donors, the Salvation Army to this point has been able to directly give in financial assistance about $600,000 directly to impacted families. We have another $500,000 coming through another generous donor here in Collier County that we're able to simply be the conduit for generosity to give directly to people that have been most impacted. Now, this work is going to continue long after today. You know, when COVID hit us 2 years ago, we were just wrapping up our Irma response. And so we picked right into COVID. And here we are again, back now with our Ian response. But it's our joy to be able to do that. And it's thanks to people like you that have supported us through times of disaster, or even those who have dropped a coin or a bill in our red kettles. I love this theme of Let Freedom Ring, because you may have heard our bells out in front of our Publixes and Wynn's downtown, and you want to know every dollar, every coin that goes in those kettles stays right here in Collier County to help us do the same work that I've just spoken about. So thank you for allowing us to continue this work, aim to do the most good for the most people and the most need. Thank you for allowing us to be a conduit for your generosity and for allowing us to deliver hope on your behalf. God bless you this Christmas season.